Let's talk about 1968. When I went home, Van Cleef was still a very hot product. Even my Hong Kong sword got weekdays, and even when I competed with the sword, I would bring the 4-leaf clover series with me. The Alhambra series is wrong, it's called Alhambra, not 4-leaf clover, and the 4-leaf clover symbolizes luck and health. Hello everyone, it's my brother Jan Ming, so I just put out a film to tell the story of Cartier, and this time it's my turn. I like the brand Van Cleef & Arpels very much. I talked about Cartier before because I saw my sword god wearing a Cartier bracelet. If I saw it in my eyes, it wasn't actually wearing a Cartier bracelet. Catch it, I'll tell you the story of a brand. It's a brand from France. I was shocked to mispronounce it because it's so hard to read. It's called Van Cleef & Arpels. Actually, a man and a woman are two names. It's called Apox, but it's for simplicity. I'll call him Frank Cleef below. If you don't listen to it, you think I jumped the line. It's the same as last time because this brand is a French brand, and there will be a lot of French. I don't know French. The most French food I eat is French toast. If I pronounce it wrong, I hope you don't mind this brand. Walking across some chain jewelry stores on the street, I saw that the jewelry was very different and unique.
If you have done it before, there are usually some shops, some warehouses and kitchens. In fact, the designs are not very special. What's really special is that they are buried in the shops. So I do it. When is YouTube writing? I was shocked all the way to write because it was really shocked, but I didn't do it well enough because there were too many series to talk about and there were many design series. I want to talk about it because it was really beautiful, but I hope everyone can understand the beauty. There are so many series, just like story series and fairy tales, and there are also some nature. Inside, there are also some Shakespeare stories, some are ballet stories. In fact, each story is actually worth telling, and there are even many brochures that is. They are really worth telling on YouTube, so it's almost possible to talk about it in such a short video. So what about YouTube? Try to tell a little history as simply as possible. I won't mind if I miss it. Well, let's start the story of Van Cleef without further ado. It originated more than 100 years ago in 1895, and there were two friends. One is called Paul and the other is called Van Cleef. This is a marriage. This marriage is actually a combination of the strength of the two major families. The Paul family is a Van Cleef family engaged in diamond trade, is a jewelry craftsman. The union of two families is definitely a professional skill. It's a merger with commercial resources. After 9 years of marriage, what about Frank Cleef? It was founded by the same grandfather, Solomon and Paul, at number 22 Place Vendue in Paris. A Frank Cleef jewelry company such as Wang Duowu Square also have some countries. What's so special about it when it is translated as Fangden Square? In fact, this Fangden Square is the starting point of Haiping Street, so if you remember, Cartier's head office is Haiping Street, so why? And what about Fangden Square at home? If you can see it on Google, many jewelry companies are all located in this place, Frank Cleef. Cartier, Bulgari, Chamard, Chanel, all concentrated in one square, definitely Paris. One of the most luxurious locations in its early days. Frank Cleef is so fast with excellent technology and beautiful design. In fact, it has attracted many members of the royal family quickly. A few socialites go to help with your early works. I have used a lot of natural elements and some beautiful gemstones have hurt me. I made my first butterfly in 1 year. More than 10 years later in the 1920s, I began to expand the international market. Just like Cartier, it's all after France. We opened a branch in London at the same time. During this period, many new designs were launched, and some of these designs were so classic that they were still selling well at home. In 1942, Van Cleef, the first branch was opened on Fifth Avenue in New York, attracting the attention of many American upper class and celebrities. Frank Cleef produced many different series of jewelry, including designing wedding jewelry for Princess Grace Kelly of Monaco and 2 times. During the war, from 1944 to about 4 or 5 years, Frank Cleef, because of the war, Paris department, so it was temporarily occupied by Nazi Germany. It just closed its doors and opened the store after the war, so quickly it became the center of all jewelry lovers. So 1954, Van Cleef founded the Nicola Jewelry Art School, which is used to teach some jewelry design.
The production process has become an important base for cultivating the next generation of jewelry designers and craftsmen, and because
a school, it was 1956 that they also promoted the inheritance and innovation of jewelry craftsmanship all over the world. Grace Kelly wore Van Cleef's series of jewelry at her wedding ceremony. At that time, it was definitely a grand event. At that time, some people discovered, wow, Grace Kelly has such an elegant temperament and this jewelry with Van Cleef is really a perfect match. At that time, it became a classic fashion news. In the 1980s, Van Cleef began to be a global master.
the city start a few boutiques, of course. There are some in New York, Tokyo, Hong Kong. Just step by step, it began to become an internationally renowned jewelry company. In 1987, it was acquired by from Luxury Group, which focused on luxury investment. In 1999, it was acquired by Richmond Group. Like Cartier, it was acquired by Richmond Group. Like other brands, it continues to release new series.
It's been 12 years since a new store has opened at number 26 Fangdon Square. It's also the flagship store of Van Cleef in Paris. It's so quick to summarize Van Cleef, a century-old brand with a history. Let's talk about this brand at home. There are some interesting stories about the same celebrities burying the royal family together. In fact, it was long before the Second World War, and there were many celebrities. With the royal family, he has become a Van Cleef fan and has become a lot of celebrities, including Grace Kelly, Princess of Monaco, Duchess of Windsor, or a lot of Hollywood. Actresses designed jewelry, and Faye Wong was also one of the most famous clients in Monaco back then. She was in Monaco, not in Morocco or in Europe. In 1956, she got married with her brother and a prince in her litter. Do you use jewelry on the wedding? It's a complete set of Van Cleef design and production. It's so beautiful, including diamond necklaces, handmade earrings, and so on. Besides, the Duchess of Windsor may not be too famous, but if you don't love the country and love beauty, I think everyone will have some impression. The Duchess of Windsor is a loyal fan of Van Cleef and has a lot of Van Cleef design works in her collection. Let's tell me the story of Northern Ireland quickly. In 1937, Lally married Prince Edward of England and became the Duchess of Windsor. Because the Duchess of Windsor was scared back then, she was married to an American girl, so there was a lot of controversy during the battle, and Prince Edward decided to abdicate just to take over the Duchess of Windsor. Really romantic, Van Cleef. They have designed a lot of works and they love to reflect this story. They even spend a lot of time with the designer Van Cleef, go to research and design some jewelry, including ruby and diamond courage necklace, Jack T bracelet, my setting gemstone brooch are all good examples. Did you hear about it? Van Cleef is so famous for his dual purpose zip series of necklaces and bracelets. It is like a zipper. If you open it, you can use it as a necklace. If you pull it, you can use it as a bracelet. A very classic style, all designed together with the same designer as Van Cleef. They are members of the royal family before Xianfeng. In modern times, there is the former Prince of Wales who should be the emperor. My wife Camilla is also a Van Cleef fan and she often wears some Van Cleef jewelry, attending a few banquets, so if you look online, you will actually see it all day long. After talking about the royal family, let's talk about some famous movie stars in Hollywood, just like Marilyn Monroe's Passion. Paul or Andrea Pin, many movies take Van Cleef jewelry to this moment. I have to mention a super collector. You responded that Elizabeth Taylor may be talking about some young children. Maybe, I don't know, it's water, but in fact the 38-year-old Tyro is very sharp. If you remember the Divine Dog Lassie, you have heard of the Divine Dog Lassie drama. The heroine in it is Elizabeth Taylor in the later life. After that, so famous and forever, the Egyptian demon throat is played by Elizabeth. The Egyptian demon has a beautiful throat. What are these movies? I won't say much. In short, this woman is so sharp. As a result, after 8 marriages and 7 husbands, all of them are rich. This woman really likes Van Cleef, of course. Queen Elizabeth is not only fond of Van Cleef, but also of a lot of jewelry, such as card and jewelry. After his death, there was an auction and even a topic department was opened to auction jewelry. Among them, there are a few classic jewelry collections. There is one piece called Taylor Pattern Diamond, and this diamond is 69.42 carats, and another one. Harry Winston cut a powerful jewelry box into a piece of lithium-shaped masonry, which is amazing. Everyone who attended the Oscars wore this necklace. It was one of the husbands. I don't remember which one it was. It seems that the third one, Richard Patton, bought this diamond and gave it as a gift. The diamond is so big and famous, it is definitely one of the most representative works in the jewelry collection. At that time, Frank Cleef helped to design one diamond and bury the other. It is called GIA Diamond. Is India. I don't know how many miracles there are in the world. Taj is a heart-shaped diamond, and there are rubies on the side. The design inspiration comes from the Indian Taj spirit. These diamonds also have Richard. In 1972, I gave it to Queen Elizabeth on his 40th birthday. Such a diamond has a history. India doesn't love it, but the emperor gave it a gift to his wife, so it has historical value. How sharp is Richard? Giving so many wives, Richard is really Richard. And when we talk about diversity, it's a lepodalina. Pearl necklace. A necklace will injure a pearl with a very long history, and this pearl is called the meaning, which is the pilgrim's solution. It also has a design and injury. Let's talk about it. A pearl. It has a history of more than 500 years and belongs to the Spanish royal family, so the first name is in Spanish, and it is also Richard. In 1969, buy this pearl as a gift to my wife Elizabeth. Come on, hey, let me tell you something about pearls. It was 500 years ago. Cultured pearls. So such a large pearl is a natural pearl. It can be so perfect, it is very rare, and the value is extremely high. Let's continue to talk about 1978. Princess Margaret brought Van Cleef jewelry with her, went to some banquet occasions and served many members of the royal family. Designing an engagement ring and burying some important jewelry are talking again. Just like the Queen Law of Jordan and the Queen of Iran, they are both important customers of Frank Cleef. When they go to modern Hollywood, they often step on red carpets. Buy some Van Cleef jewelry such as Nicole Kidman, Hathaway, Natalie Portman, such as these well-known actresses, Academy Awards ceremonies and other important occasions, and they will bring these Van Cleef jewelry to attend. Of course, there will be a sponsor. I'm not sure if I will buy it myself, but it also consolidates Frank Cleef's status as a high-end jewelry brand. Okay, after telling some classic stories about celebrities, movie stars and royals, I'll talk about some classic styles at home, and I'll talk about some series that are buried and sold at home. What about the design? It's constantly innovating. If you look at the warehouse kitchen, you will see a lot of inspiration. It comes from some nature or some fairy tales, so you will see a lot of flowers, animals, constellations and so on. So beautiful. Well, there are insects, butterflies and so on. What about me? I will start talking about classic styles one by one from the early days of my business. I don't mind because there are too many classics in them. I can only talk about a few classics among classics, which are called true classics. It's 1922. At that time, Egyptian archaeology discovered the tomb of two paralyzed carmen. At that time, it became Europe, which unleashed an Egyptian craze. At that time, Frank Cleef drew some creative inspiration from it and used a lot of Egyptian patterns. Bury some new materials to highlight the jewelry works. What are the works? It combines a lot of Egyptian symbolic elements, just like a few flowers, character bugs, King Pharaoh, etc. To this moment, if you've ever been to Egypt, there are some words. Wow, it's so unique and beautiful. It all shows an understanding of culture and history, and it's creative. I have to mention that it helped the Empress of Iran at that time design a series of jewelry, including a green emerald with a wound. The buried diamond crown is so beautiful. Let's take a look at the picture. And the home is very beautiful. I went to some sharp antique jewelry stores or jewelry exhibitions. When did I see it? I really want to buy it, but because of the money, the design is so bold and reflective. It's really good to have creativity and craftsmanship and boldness to use some different materials to express jewelry. This is an Egyptian series which will impress people. I believe that you have seen a series of jewelry words in front of your home phone or computer. In fact, hello, you will always like it when you see it many years later. And you will remember this kind of jewelry until a few years later. So Pankeith in 1925 is an international decorative arts exhibition in Paris showing this dancing garden series with a thick bracelet on it. There are so beautiful rubies, diamonds and roses that they were tied so sharply at that time. I thought they were so beautiful. Such a chain was tied to the expo. It was a first-class gold award honor, so it all reflected a lot of jewelry. After winning this award, it further established the status of this brand in the jewelry industry. I have to mention that it was so innovative in 1933 that it was called mystery setting, and some people called it hidden injury embedded. Just say it, because the edge of the claw is called a side box, and mainlanders just call it a borderless box or just a pinchuang, okay? But it's a real name, remember? It is called mystery setting, or it is called mystery setting to hide color injury. Is it such a technique? Tie it so special. You usually hurt diamond rings. You need 4 claws, 3 claws, and 2 claws for xiaoji. Tie it right? But what is it about a technique and a claw? Every gemstone can be tied to the side. Every fine grain. It's so fine. The side of the car bar pit is tied just like me. In the past, fighting wood into bamboo shoots and eating every gem pit by pit. Therefore, some mainlanders also call it fighting frost and touching it. Because the claws are so bad, it is smooth and smooth, but the technology is very complicated. Hey, think about it. 1 grain is written as a square. Go and spell it together. You want 4 pits in the car, so you can spell 1 grain on each side when you arrive first. How do you spell a flat surface? What if you don't do well, the net system will be flat, but if you do well like Fanclify, you can achieve one. The streamlined format, the grain, the level of complexity, the level of craftsmanship is even more difficult. Even at this moment, it is regarded as a masterpiece in jewelry craftsmanship. If you don't believe it, you can go to 100 shops in Hong Kong. One will help you do it, but then, if you have time, can you come? I specified it. I have a lot of mystery setting jewelry, including rings, earrings, and hangers. I have to mention my own jewelry store. If you go to a jewelry store, you may see a talk. Hojin Jewelry Store scares you that you may see 1 or 2 pieces, 2 or 3 pieces of mystery setting, but it is extremely expensive. If you don't mind, you will know if you ask. No, Venkip, Thailand. It's called Same Paragon. There is a shop that sells a lot of mystery setting. The BTS floor is very expensive, but mystery setting, in addition to being difficult to do, the maintenance system is almost desperate, which will make people think about it. If a stone is thrown in the middle, or if some stones are broken, what will you do? Me? So it's very expensive, but I don't sell it. If you come to learn shops in Central, you have to take a look at Thailand. What about doing a mystery setting? Well, let's talk about it again. Why is this mystery setting so expensive? Apart from the complexity, you have thought about it all. Rubies and sapphires are so expensive. The middle bar pit is that it is a car stone, so on average, even if it is easy to tie it to the master, you use it as a 100-calorie stone, and in the end it will reach 50 calories. Why is it half? First, there is a number, and second, there are some stones. There are so many tattoos in them, it is so easy. It will make the stones break and explode. So, if you use 100 calories first, you need to use 50 calories. What are you doing? As for this mystery setting, in fact, to be honest, there is a platoon talk. Next time I come, I will make a YouTube, which is dedicated to injuries. I won't talk about this hidden injury. If there is a platoon talk, it won't continue until 1935. I can't talk about this watch. This watch is actually really proud of it. It feels very rough and a bit similar. The Tiffany hardware in the near row is thicker. It looks like a watch, but the appearance is actually not a watch. It needs to be cut on the side. It has been said for several years that this watch was designed by the Duchess of Windsor, but it has not been confirmed that the working lady of Windsor owns such a watch herself. What do you think? A watch, a big bracelet, it's 1936. Don't you love Edward VIII, a husband of the Lady of Windsor Palace? Just customized some jewelry styles for my wife. To celebrate my wife's 40th birthday, ordered 3 pieces of jewelry, including a necklace and a ruby inlaid piece. On the forehead, let's talk about the empty needle of the boundless box first. It's so beautiful. It's 2 leaves. 1 leaf is made of diamonds. It's made of another leaf. It's made of a boundless box. What a suit. It's so powerful. I feel scared. Some pieces of ruby jewelry. If you talk about design craftsmanship and not price, the ceiling inside ruby jewelry cannot be challenged. I mentioned it first. I went to a shop in Siagon, Thailand, which specializes in selling boxes. I don't remember the name. There are many of them. I still use this concept. Jewelry. If you see something similar to jewelry next time, you think about it, it was 1936. There is a history, so it's so enjoyable. I went to 1941. And I designed the earliest ballet. The empty needle of the buried fairy is a broch designed in New York. It is a beautiful little fairy with pair of wings, which symbolizes hope at the same time. The first ballet empty needle was born. Since then, a good tradition and classic have been created. So inspired? Derived from fairy tales, fairies and elves, this series uses a lot of different gems. Or some hair salon craftsmanship. What is a hair salon? they often use a technique. You will see something like an oil painting. You can call it a glue floor, but if you look at it, it will be beautiful. It's a hair salon, so it can be reflected to this brand. What kind of imagination about this fairy tale world? There is an elf series, there is a Gem Kingdom adventure series, and there are so many special creatures. Oh good God. What about the scene? The theme is like a magical world, a wounded gemstone dragon, a fairy with diamond wings, and so proud of it. It's 1950. The legendary classic photography necklace appeared. What inspiration? It's because it's the Duchess of Windsor. It can be zipped. It's almost the same as the zippers of my usual wind jackets. However, it's so proud to use diamonds as gel. It can be made by hand. It can be opened with such a hole and can be used as a necklace. In fact, the design is frightening. Be bold. I am engaged in jewelry designer. Think about it. If I am a jewelry designer at home for a moment and I tell the boss I am not as good as a whole diamond zipper, what will happen to you? But Frank Cleef really made it, and the chain is almost closed. It was designed 7 or 80 years ago and went to 1967. What was it at that time? One of Frank Cleef's speakers is called Cleef Arpels, so he knows a ballet company in New York City. George, the founder of New York City Ballet, where are the two? Good friend, just designer Xiang Zhen. The ballet is called Jules Jewelry, so I don't know when it is. I'm so interested in art and burying jewelry to build a tower just like Andrea Pin's Breakfast Tiffany. They all belong to a similar ballet. It was performed in April 1967. There was a desert. One scene was called Emerald, the other scene was Ruby, and the other scene was called Diamond. The music was so sharp, just like Bashevsky's creation. So it was derived from this ballet series. If you go there and listen to your words closely, it will prove that you are really interested in jewelry or something beautiful. If you are interested, I hope you won't be bored. It's just 1968, and even when you go home, Van Cleef is still a very popular product. Even my Hong Kong sword got weekdays, and even when I compete with the sword, I always wear the 4-page grass series. It's this Alhambra series. Wrong, it's called Alhambra, not 4-leaf clover, and the 4-leaf clover symbolizes luck. It's healthy, so many people like it and hope to bring luck. Such an Alhambra. At that time, Van Cleef, what is the design concept? It came from the area of Granada, Spain. There is a 4-leaf clover in the famous Alhambra Palace. There is inspiration inside. There is this 4-leaf clover with earrings, bracelets, and necklaces. The nature is so precious because most of them are clovers. If you want to find them, the 4-leaf clover had 4 leaves before: luck, health, wealth, and love. At first, this series was mainly made of gold and buried white shellfish hats. Hey, white shells are tied to shells. They are so simple and easy to live because this series is so popular, and there are more and more elements. It seems that some roads may be black or red roads. Use malachite green for ground color, lapis lazuli blue, red meat water, etc. More and more colors come. Or you can use gold or tricolor color so slowly because it has been several years and it has been out all the way. Sometimes I will use some butterflies, sometimes I will use some leaves, and sometimes I even use beetles. There are so many different styles, so remember, if someone sees them next time. The Karma grass necklace is so beautiful. You have to correct me that this one is not a 4-leaf clover. Remember this series? Hello everyone, it's a French brand, Cartier, and both of them are French brands. Of course, it's a lot of French brands. Where is my Hong Kong sword god Zhang Jialang? There are pictures and bodies. During the competition, they all wear a Cartier love angle and bury a Van Cleef 4-leaf clover bracelet. The French model has 2 bodies, so I want to try it with everyone. Give it a try, put it on and take a look, I believe it. There are a lot of love bangle bracelets on YouTube, and there are also a lot of bracelets on YouTube, but they are worn on the screen at the same time. Apart from me, the sword god, are they really anyone else? In view of this time I turned Seymour over and used his body to carry these 2 things. I hope everyone can see it. I was scared when I read it at the beginning of the man's 4-page grass. I thought it was a little strange, but I thought about it after watching my sword god competition. It's not the first thing to find out. The sword god's hand is tied to the micro. When an athlete comes, his hands are thick. I think it looks good to wear them. It doesn't matter to take a look at France. If a man is about to leak his grass chain and click at you again, it seems okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a refurbished model. Because the front row is riding bicycles, there is a mark, but what is it like? Will it stop the anti-Western model from buying skin indiscriminately? So I'll cover it. It's a bit similar to the point. It shouldn't be a chain problem, it should be a Seymour degree problem, but the sword god wears a good man. If I wear Cartier's hand and forehead at the same time, it will be clicked. That is 2 when you usually bring it up. But is it? It's okay. Again, it just feels like this. There must be something wrong with the girl. The 4-leaf clover is lucky. There is a heavenly love department in the underground. Please take a look at the two generals holding hands at the same time. At the beginning, I thought whether to tie them tightly or not. A softer boy, just like a French motto. Is it suitable to wear first? It turns out that it doesn't matter. It's like I'm so thick that Zhang Jialang wears it well. I ask how to put one hand down and whether the bottom will be better. It's like it's really like it's really like it. If it's really like it, it's easy to put it on the top of the size and put it on it like this. It's really like it's not like it. Everyone can carry it, but it's like a flange. It's okay to bury Zhang Jialang. Although Seymour's degree is not sword CT, it's always good morning. I tried it, its time flies so fast. The Fever series is a golden flower, and you often see some good golden flower boys in your warehouse and kitchen. There are also some earrings with lips, which are so shiny and easy to twist, and they are all more classic styles. I went here to talk about so much jewelry in 2006. This degree is special and it's about watches. It's called Poetic Complication. It's a good complication just by listening to the name. It's a good advanced lottery technology because this technology is so complicated. It's a series of watches. It uses a lot of poetic painting stories, or it uses a number of constellations and emotional stories between men and women to make a design. In 2010, when the clock won a prize, it was about a man and a woman, the girl on the left and the boy on the right. Along this bridge, it was getting closer and closer so that the net system could be tin in one day. Twice, it bounced off as soon as the tin was finished. So many people have talked about this watch, so I won't talk too much about it, but it's a series. If you go to a SP or a Frank Cleef, you can see a specially designed watch, a complication series, a very complicated design, just like a watch. Frank Chris Poetic Complication Woman Watch is about buying HK $1 million, so it went to 2012. What brand? Just set up a Jewelry Art Institute in Paris, and K11 Muse is opened in Hong Kong. There are many regular exhibitions in it. Course R also. There is a seminar about jewelry production and appraisal, which attracts many people to learn. And this advertisement appears on Facebook all the time. So many people don't know when they see this name. In fact, this Jubal College is from Van Cleef. Well, this time I will look back on Frank Cleef, some glorious history, some good classic jewelry, and some celebrities. To be honest, I have been looking at jewelry for so many years, but I actually have some aesthetic fatigue. But what about the design of Van Cleef brand? It's really innovative. It's definitely one of my favorite brands. It's been a long time. Let's talk about it again this time. I think you will be scheming to watch this YouTube and go to this degree. I pointed out a shop on the ground floor of number 14 Wellington Street, Central. The ground floor shop is paved over the upstairs shop. If you need to convert or have questions, please feel free to contact me in Hong Kong at 985-8858. If you like this piece, I hope you like, subscribe and share it. Bye bye.